people, I'd say 90% of them never envisioned themselves being homeless. Because, believe it or not, they were normal human beings at one time, just like you and I. They had lives, they had families, they had jobs, and for whatever reasons, it disintegrated. There we go. Let's get a better view of the city here, huh? Now leaving North Side. I'm going to tell you a little story about these bridges, because I've walked across them enough. A lot of homeless people will leave stuff for other homeless people that they don't want. It's sort of like, for those of you who have, I'm sorry, I'm still deaf in this ear and it's hard for me to hear myself and talk to you. For those of you who have hiked the Appalachian Trails or the PCT or the Continental Divide, you know how people have drop boxes, or the trails have drop boxes where people throw stuff that they don't want anymore? Well, that's sort of what goes on here. I won't get into specifics, but coffee lids, you wouldn't believe what homeless people use this for. A lot of times, believe it or not, you'll find tampons, one still packaged. Here is some clothing. The reason why you see this is because the homeless person decided they didn't want it anymore. And it's only going to be a matter of time, even though that's tatters and rags, another homeless person will pick that up. Just look at this river. Oh, jeez. That's how cold it was getting for a while. And believe it or not, too, the other day on the Smithfield Street Bridge, I seen condoms. One still in the pack. I guess people are having sex on these bridges too, I don't know. But you could easily step down like this, and you could sit down and nobody would see you. It's kind of weird, but so sometimes, depending on which way the wind is blowing, a homeless person will take refuge right here until the wind passes. But bridges can be useful, believe it or not. You'll find pantyhose for women, and of course you will find these bottles for the cold nights. Remember what the homeless veteran said about alcohol. A lot of homeless people use it to try to keep warm. But yeah, I've been amazed some of the stuff that I find on bridges. A lot of homeless people spend time walking bridges. I don't know, I just thought it was something interesting to tell you, but it's really strange. You find a lot of weird stuff walking around in the city. Just look at the view. Oh. Beautiful city, huh? This time we got in this video. Okay. So I'm gonna decide now where I'm gonna go for the day. Try to get into the heat. Although it's not really cold today. It's actually pretty nice out. There's no wind blowing right now. Wind is the worst enemy of a homeless person. See? Socks. Yeah, you can just find the weirdest shit in bridges, man. It's strange. You'll find also bags of food that a homeless person will save for later. There. See the toe warmer? You know what kind of people out here use those? Yeah, that's right, homeless people. A lot of coffee cups. Yeah, the life of a homeless person. Do what you can to survive. Do what you can to stay under the radar. Do what you can to preserve your dignity. Do what you can to preserve your respect. Some have completely given up on that, and they don't care what they look like. As I said, you know, just because you're homeless doesn't mean you have to look like you are, but some people just completely give up. Their mental faculties slowly begin to break down. And you know, it's interesting because I would love for a study to be done on that, because I am convinced without a doubt that being in this situation for an extended period of time will break down your mental faculties, your spirituality, your psyche, your physiology. Homelessness will destroy it all. It will. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people out here. This is no life for anyone. It's a very hard, very rough life. I appreciate you guys watching the videos. I appreciate you guys spreading the word, because we need so much of it. We need to keep addressing these issues. We need to keep people aware of what's going on in their cities. Not just Pittsburgh. There's homeless problems everywhere. It exists in every major city. It exists in every town. It exists in the county that I grew up in Beaver. So, Aliquippa had a homeless problem for a while after the mill shut down. But it's my hometown. And, you know, it never ends. It's just one big, giant catastrophe. And the facilities that are involved with trying to help people who have gotten involved in this circumstance are doing everything they can to try and help, to at least feed them and give them a place to stay for the night. But what people don't realize is, and I have figured this out already just on my own and conversations with other people, these facilities operate, even though I don't like them much, you know, they're very expensive. It's thousands of dollars a night to house and feed these homeless people. But if they're spending that much money, well, I'll just save that for the next video, or whenever I decide to do it. But anyways, I thought I was going to say that. Try to give you a tour here. This is probably like the warmest day I've had on a bridge. I had to walk the Smithfield Street Bridge the other night because I had to go to Station Square. And, oh, it was so cold walking across that river. Oh my God. That wind was just ferocious. But, you know, it just, you have to protect yourself from the elements. And you know, you find yourself in this unfortunate circumstance for whatever reasons, and your reasons are your own, and your reasons are personal. You can't let it get you down. The most important thing out here is to have some kind of morale, because if you don't, the city's going to eat you up. You're going to find yourself in a place you can't get out of. It's sad. And it's even more sad when no one cares. You know, but it's just the way it goes. Out here, you're your own best person. I mean, you want to talk about self-reliance. I don't think it gets any better or any more arduous than this. And for every person out here, you know, I wish them the best. I truly do. Because it's a horrible, horrible situation to be in life. What it does to you psychologically, if you let it, you know, it's always a battle in your mind. You know, you're in this situation, you're like, man, I can't believe this, and I have to deal with it. And then at the same time, something pops in that makes you feel, you know, hey, I'm still a human again. Like getting clean laundry. Anyways, so